then that is complete. Voila, I have completed my project, set myself a challenge and I smashed it. And now it's time to slide into my next project, and that is to welcome Joe Barron, the Managing Director of Project Cars 3, to the show. Let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of NitroNights, where you will get all of your sim racing goodness in one place. Plus, we've got some great topics today, including Gamescom, and if that wasn't enough, the hottest race that everyone's talking about. That's right, Hot Lap. It's all on the way. But I did promise you Joe Barron, and that is exactly what you will get. If you don't know who he is, you will do after watching this.
He's one of the people responsible for bringing you Project Cars. Joe Barron has worked as marketing and esports manager at SlightlyMad Studios since they released their first title. But before he helped deliver the games you love, he was busy writing about them. As a freelance journalist, Barron specialized in racing games and brought them under the microscope for big websites like GameSpot and IGN. Even though he's always been a die-hard racing fan, he isn't limited to racing games. He's a fan of all genres and even collects retro games. You might even sometimes catch him at esports events that don't even involve cars.
And guess where else you can find him? You can find him right here on NitroNights. Joe Barron, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on board. You saw some of those pictures there, trackside, which I love to see. But the question I want to ask, first of all, gaming journalist moving into marketing director. What and how did that happen?
Over a long period of time, pretty much. So I started out in the industry in the first place by I guess, partly happy accident and partly by design, but not through, I mean, nobody really goes to school for video game marketing guy in the same way that you might to be a programmer or an artist. But in high school and then early on at university, I met some guys through the GameSpot community, and we started a site of our own called Citizen Game, and then a bunch of us got picked up and went into different roles in the industry. And that, for me, that led to freelance writing, and my motorsport fandom led me to specializing in racing games. But back in those days, sort of early 2000s, 2010 kind of time, it wasn't, it was before the big explosion in sim racing that we've had in the last few years. So there wasn't really a huge amount for me to do, let's say, in the games press. There weren't that many racing games released each year. So I started looking for other opportunities and things. And then over the years, through interviewing people and making contacts, I'd gotten to know a bunch of the guys Slightly Mad through doing interviews and stuff for some of their earlier games. And then, the opportunity came around just after Project Cars 1 came out. I think I joined about a month after it came out. And then, I've been here ever since.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic journey, and I'm sure by the smiles on your face, you're enjoying it right now. I see your Project Cars merch on your head right now with the hat. but why the gaming driving genre? Why that genre in particular?
I think for me, I'm kind of falling into that category that I think a lot of people who are into sim racing, similar age to me, sort of late 20s, early 30s, where it's kind of an unfulfilled dream of not being necessarily able to afford going racing as a kid, and then picking up early Gran Turismo games, the Toka games back in the day in the 90s as well, and starting to learn more about driving fast through games basically, and then just carrying on. Eventually you stop playing with a controller and get a wheel, and you just keep graduating up to different kinds of racing games. And for me it was definitely that kind of exploring something that I couldn't necessarily afford to do all the time in the real world.
Yeah, could you imagine though, creating a completely new racing game, or would you kind of continue with the Project Cars franchise? Could you even imagine another title in your head?
I think for me personally, one of the reasons I came here is I was already a fan of what SlightlyMad was doing. So I can't really imagine a world without Project Cars now. It's such a big part of my life over the last few years. But obviously for us as a company, things have changed in the last few months with being acquired by Codemasters a few months ago. And now we're part of a bigger family. It kind of feels like there's almost like endless possibilities for the future now. And that shared knowledge and experience, I'm sure, will lead to learnings in both companies and bigger and better things for all existing franchises. And then, come some days in the future, maybe some brand new ideas as well.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, loving the merch, Joe. Did you purposefully decide to release Project Cars 3 during Gamescom, or was it just a happy coincidence?
I think there's a bit of both, really. So if you look at when we've released our past games in the Project Cars franchise, it's always tended to be in the summer, and that's kind of put us on this development cycle. But if you look at a game development typically being planned out, it's going to take a year or it's going to take 2 years from the point you finish the previous one. That cycle kind of keeps going, and it's kind of sort of landed us in this window. I think Project Cars 2, we were sitting in a similar place where we came out, I think, a week or 2 weeks after Gamescom. So I was down at the show, running straight to the airport, coming back to the UK to do things like this for that game as well. And then, this time around, just partly happy accident, but also, it's really great to be able to do that. And our launch trailer will be coming out during the show later in the week as well, so that'd be cool.
Well, I'm absolutely loving it. It's a happy outcome here. Now, I want you to take off your marketing director hat for a second here, Joe, because are you ready for the quickfire round?
Go for it.
Okay, here we go then. First question, favourite racing game?
Project Cars, but if I go older, I'm a big Outrun guy from the 90s.
You couldn't put another answer, to be honest. Favourite driver?
All-time Michael Schumacher. At the moment, probably Charles Leclerc.
Okay, I planned on you saying yourself. Okay, favourite car?
Ooh, that's hard. I've always been a big fan of the 360 Challenge Stradale Ferrari, the one that's kind of the first one that they did, the kind of light version of one of the main road cars in the family. I thought that was really cool.
Okay, road car or GT?
GT.
Okay, foggy with clear road or clear sight with slippy road?
Clear sight with slippy road, because at least you can see the wall coming when you make a mistake.
Okay, and you can see the mistakes where you're going to make them. Your favourite Tekken game and fighter? We saw that from the video, so go on.
Game, probably 3. I think that was the one where I kind of really got into it for the first time, the final one on the PS1. Character, probably Farhang, who's kind of the Korean Taekwondo guy, mainly because it winds my brother up when I pick him and he can't quite figure him out, and it's an easy win.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a great answers there in a quickfire round. I was going to say, for personally myself, I know you don't ask the questions, Joe, but I would have said King. I love the priest turned wrestler, favourite character. Listen, Joe, you did amazingly in the quickfire round. That is done and dusted. You can take a little breather for a second, because we did mention Gamescom there, and now we are going to see a small clip which will give you everything you need to know about it.
Gamescom is a bit like Christmas for gamers. Everyone's looking forward to all the news and information they might get during the event. While some expectations are quite realistic, others will probably just remain as dreams. Gran Turismo fans, for example, will probably have to wait a little longer for new information about the series' next title, as neither Sony nor developer Polyphony Digital are Gamescom 2020 partners. Any sign of Gran Turismo is pretty unlikely. The same goes for another PlayStation exclusive, Destruction All-Stars. Although it was one of the biggest surprises of Sony's PS5 State of Play reveal stream, we're very unlikely to get any new info on the Derby Resurrection. However, another spontaneous State of Play stream during Gamescom is one we're really hoping for. What might be more realistic, however, is brand new input on Forza Motorsport. Xbox is an official Gamescom 2020 partner, and after a very generous announcement trailer, Forza fans are eager for some solid news. This is Microsoft's chance to finally deliver. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is in quite the same position. Given that publisher Nacon is also a Gamescom partner, wishes for new footage about the high society racer might well come true. Finally, Project Cars 3 could also show a presence in this year's Gamescom lineup. As it's going to be released on August the 28th, with publisher Bandai Namco also being an official partner, a final presentation seems very much on the cards. Either way, we'll finally find out just how casual the game really is, or whether it'll remain true to its roots. In any case, exciting days lie ahead. Be sure to stay tuned, because Overtake will be on the road getting you all the news you need.
So there you go, some great stuff. Very curious about all of those titles. We are still joined by Joe Barron from Project Cars 3, Marketing Director. So Joe, very exciting there, everything that's going on in Gamescom. How have you found it to be that it's online now?
I think it's just nice to have a focal point for the industry again, really. I think everybody sort of felt a bit of a void without there being an E3 this year, and lots of publishers have done their own individual events, but be they the new consoles or for specific games. And I think those kind of piecemeal things have sort of filled the gap in a way, but there hasn't been that kind of 1 week of crazy announcements all in a row and that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to have a bit of a focal point for everybody to kind of gather around, even if it's just online for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Project Cars 3 has been launched. Some people have already had the game. They've got into it and are starting to express their opinions. So you've kind of got a sort of match-off between Project Cars 2 fans and Project Cars 3 fans. How have you found everything that you've sort of seen online recently?
I think for us, one of the big things with this game is that we're trying to bring new people into the genre, new people into sim racing, because it has a reputation at the end of the day for being a bit of an exclusive hobby. Sometimes I'm going to take a drink before I cough.
Of course, yeah. That was perfectly positioned there, Joe.
It's almost tactical. And with both the previous games, we did have huge numbers of gamers that kind of found Project Cars to be their sort of gateway into sim racing, which was really great. And they maybe have come from a sort of pure arcade racing background, or maybe they hadn't played racing games at all, and they saw something in Project Cars 1 or Project Cars 2 that inspired them to learn more about simulation. And both of the previous games, though, we kind of didn't have content specifically for those people. So with a lot of the new stuff we're doing, be that experience systems or car customization or the improvements to the gamepad handling, which are really substantial. We've also made things like the assist more realistic and less intrusive and revamped the online modes. So we're hoping to ease more of those kind of people into sim racing in a friendlier way than we've done in the past, and even than some other games in the genre have done in the past as well. But at the end of the day, the engine itself, the Madness engine and the physics that underpin the new game are still the fundamental, authentic experience that we're known for. And we do want people to be able to, to still be able to jump straight into the game with all the assists off if they're so inclined, and go straight into a thunderstorm in the middle of the night and have the same challenge that they used to from the franchise over the years. So yeah, we definitely are a studio like any other that reads all the comments, watches all the videos, listens to the community and their opinions, and we're going to continue to. Sorry, go on.
No, it's really interesting when you say that you're seeing those opinions, because it's so polarizing. Sure. Any game, it's so subjective. If you love it, you love it. If you find it, if you're critical of it, do you look at those critiques and therefore be able to implement them in patch updates and something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That was just what I was going to say. So a big thing for us over the years is, the first two games were crowdfunded and had that built-in community before they came out. This game doesn't have the crowdfunding side to it because of the success of the first two. But for sure, we'll be looking at the balance of the game with the community alongside all the post-release support and content that people can expect in terms of new cars and tracks and stuff like that after release as well. And we actually have some better tools built into the game this time to give us more telemetry about specific content that people particularly gravitate towards or enjoy more than others. So yeah, I think we're in a better position than even the previous two games as far as the tools available to us, be they on the community side or in the game itself, to learn about sort of the best ways to tweak and balance the game post-release.
Yeah, well, I'm loving the fact that there's so many cars to choose from. Now, from your esports background, Joe, how are you going to push Project Cars 3 into the esports world?
So one of the big things we've done really is actually on the game design level as well this time, where we've, as I just mentioned, we've really overhauled the multiplayer. And that's become sort of one of the big new pillars for this game. And what I mean by that is, in the previous game, especially in Project Cars 2, we had this system of a competitive racing license that was doing things like measuring your skill level, but also how safely you drove and sort of sportsmanship and things like that. But we didn't go the extra mile in terms of how we made use of it. So it was there and it was numbers in your profile and all that kind of thing. But this time around, we've actually refined the way those numbers are calculated to start with. And then we're also using it for actual skill-based matchmaking across all the modes. So if you hit the quick play button in the multiplayer modes, it's going to look for guys who are around your skill level, be that on the actual pace side of things or the safety side of things, and you're going to get sort of better, fairer, more competitive racing than we've ever had before, which will be really good to see. And then we've also got a scheduled event system where it's a long list of races happening at specific times over the course of every day of the week, which we set on the development side, and that will change week to week. So that'll be cool. We can use that to highlight specific content that we want people to play, but also when you register for a race at a particular time, you're sort of going to be matched against all the other people who've registered for the same race at the same time. And while you're sort of waiting for the race to start, you get a qualifying session and you can qualify as much as you like until the timer counts down and the light goes green and stuff. So all that stuff's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be another way that we can kind of improve something that we've already been pretty proud of over the years, which is our ability at the grassroots level to find new talent. You know, for me personally, that's something I'm really proud of, our track record with that over the years. It's nice for me. A couple of weeks ago, unfortunately, in the part of England I'm in, actually, the lockdown's just gotten worse recently. But a few weeks ago, before that happened, I was able to go down to Alton Park and sit in the grandstand and watch James Baldwin win his first GT3 race, which was really cool. And I was there at his first ever esports event as well. So to kind of be there at both sides of that was really exciting. So to be able to build on that and have more tools to find even more new talent is going to be really cool.
I love that, Joe. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, listen, the community that we have on NitroNights, we sort of pose a little opportunity for them to get involved with the social showroom, and we've had some brilliant feedback. We put a poll out to say, would you prefer oval racing to circuit racing? We had a whole video on oval racing, and it was brilliant. But as you can see, circuit racing absolutely smashed it. 91.8% prefer that. People have said that both are very fun racing track styles, but that's what they love. Do you have a preference, circuit or oval racing?
I'm definitely a circuit guy, but interestingly, while we were making this game, some of the guys, we've got a couple of, well, I don't know if you know this about us, but we all work from home and we're spread all over the world at SlightlyMad Studios. And it's been that way long before COVID. We've been that way for about 10 years. So when we have our Friday afternoon multiplayer play test when we're working on the game, quite often some of the American guys or some of the Canadian guys will want to do a few oval races. And we also, every time we do it, all those European guys are sort of going, oh God, here we go again. And then we get really into it as soon as it starts. As soon as the slipstream starts, if it's 4 wide and everything, we really enjoy it. So whenever I'm asked the question, I always say circuit racing, but secretly I'm developing a bit of a soft spot for ovals as well. Yeah,
I tell you what, could be 4 wide at turn 1 on Spa this weekend. So, you know, circuits can have a 4 wide. Listen, a quick question that we put out to everybody was, if you are playing on a gaming pad, do you lean into the corners? Loads of people got involved in this. Love this from BoxBox, says 100% with a set of Corsa Competizione, my neck feels like Nico Hulkenberg's post 8-month layoff. So loving that. So a lot of people do that. Also had this one from Daniel. It's scientifically proven to be faster if you lean into a corner while playing on a controller. Loving the feedback there. And finally, obviously lots of people have seen the Dave Gaming review he had of the G29 wheel. Brilliant. Make sure you go out and check it out if you haven't already done so. But what I love is this comment from Lullaby that says, brilliant review, super informative and really well presented. So go and check that out. And also another thing, today the Newsflash, for the first time, is going to appear on Instagram. I say for the first time, it's not. But if you have never seen it on Instagram, it will be the first time. Listen, Joe, first of all, do you lean into the corners with the joypad?
I don't with joypad, but I have a tendency when I'm sat in my rig with the wheel to sort of turn my head, even if I'm not using VR, if I'm playing on a screen, I'm sort of turning my head trying to look into a corner that I can't look into. Some of our guys have got track IR, so I think I need to invest in that as well. Yeah, I think it's universal. Listen, Joe Barron, what an absolute pleasure to get your insight in Project Cars 3, into your Tekken favourite character. Just brilliant to have you on NitroNights, given all of your expertise. Have you enjoyed being on? Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, well, listen, man, I know that you are so busy at the moment with the game launch, so to be able to give us the time, really appreciate all the best with the launch, and I'm looking forward to seeing Project Cars 3 as part of the esports world, so looking forward to it, Joe. Cheers. Well, there you go. Joe Barron, having to leave there because so busy with the launch at the moment of Project Cars 3. However, some of you are thinking, he can't take part in the hot lap. No, he can't. But we're still having it, and I'll explain why in just a second.
If you guessed that it would be me, Tom Deacon, taking on the Hot Lap Challenge, you would be correct. It is time to get out the pad and do this. If you want to be a champion, you need to believe in yourself. And that is a quote from Sugar Ray Robinson. There we go. I'm feeling confident. Let's do this. 58.83 seconds is the time to beat from Ben Constanduris for me to be the Hot Lap champion. I am talking a lot because I'm nervous, but I'm very competitive. So let's do this. Here we go. Whew. All right, getting into this. I'm just seeing out the course of track 15. All right, just getting a bit of speed. Come on. Oh, that's not good. That is not a good start. Here we go. What I'm doing is going to get this. Here we go. Got to be confident. Got to be confident. That is a mad start. Here we go. He's on this. He's got it. Bit of a drift. I am way off the best here. I'm normally much better than this, guys. It's just what it is. It's just the lights in the studio. I think they're just affecting everything that's going on. Come on, guys, you know you do this. Trying to get a bit of drift going. There we go, a little bit. Oh, come on! Yes. Oh, from here. Oh, come on. I even did sort of... Oh, I mean, we are having a mare on this. Normally, I'm so much better than this, actually. I'm really bad at this. I've never... Why can't I get any pace going? This is... Honestly, if you think this is bad, guys, you want to see me park the thing. Oh, I am terrible at parking. Normally just get out and leave it. Didn't even make it. So, there you go then. I feel like an absolute egg right now. I had visions of beating Ben Constanduris, but I failed miserably. He is still top of the leaderboard on the Hot Lap, and I don't think I can even show my face around here anymore. Listen, what I can do is bring you all the latest in the sim racing news, and it is part of the Newsflash. Here it comes. Come on. Get faster. It's so difficult. Oh, I mean, that's just... Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did say I was going to do the news flash, but I was practicing because I am so rubbish. Right, let's kickstart the news flash. First, with an addition to last week's V10 League announcement, BMW Motorsport Sim Racing Team and Porsche 24 by Redline are the final teams to be announced. The lineup is complete. Really looking forward to that. Moving on in the news flash, the 2021 iteration of NASCAR Heat Series is going to be completely reworked. This also means dropping the naming scheme and going with something as of yet is unknown, but as soon as it is, we will let you know. Also, a new title for IndyCar. This will be the first real title for IndyCar. Very exciting stuff, I'm sure you will agree. Moving on to F1 Espors Series, let's bring you up to speed. Dates for the $750,000 tournament revealed. The kickoff will be on the 15th of October at the Bahrain International Circuit, and it will end on the 10th of December at Interlagos in Brazil. The race length, now this is interesting, will be longer than last year's with 35% compared to 25% of a full-length F1 race. Racers have not yet been revealed, but three-man rosters will be announced on the 27th of August. That is Friday. And finally, for the news flash, esports racers to join first ever hydrogen race series. New HYRAZE League real world and esports racers compete in hydrogen powered cars, organized by various companies and associations including DMSB, ADAC and WESA. It is the first racing league to be with hydrogen powered electric engines. Each team has two drivers, one from the real world and one from the esports esports world, and said the combination of real racing with multivarious new technologies and esport will create a new relevant for motorsport. That is said by Herman Tomicek, the president of sports at ADAC. Real and virtual race will count equally. I can't wait for this. Qualifications for esports racers are planned in November 2022, and the first season will be in Germany. So there you have it, guys. That is your news flash done and dusted. You are welcome. And actually, that's the end of the show for this week. I'm glad and I hope you've enjoyed it. Glad to have you with us. If you would like to leave us a comment, make sure you do that. Follow us on Twitter at overtake_GG. We're also on Instagram as well. In 7 days' time, we will be back with more sim racing action. In the meantime, stay safe. See you very shortly. I'm going to get back to a draw. I'm going to get back to this and get better. See you soon.